According to the studies, about 10% of people are left-handed, and ambidextrous people, which means both-handed, make up only about 1%. Looking further into this rare ambidextrous, I also found that there are many benefits. Therefore, this video is a growth record until I'll be able to eat and write with my non-dominant hand. I took on the challenge using the 3 months from September to December and first conducted an inspection. The content of the experiment is to measure the time taken to transfer 10 beans one by one using chopsticks to another container to see how much difference there is between my right hand and left hand. First is the challenge of the right hand. Beans were small and slippery, but I have lived 15 years as a right-handed person, so it was relatively easy. As a result, I have managed to transfer 10 beans to another container in about 30 seconds. Next is the challenge of my left hand. Before I started, I thought it would be easy. However, it was much harder than I expected. When I hauled the chopsticks with my left hand for the first time, I had no idea which finger to move. If you pinch it poorly, it will run away smoothly. A cycle of beans running away if you chase. Eventually, I could only transfer one bean in 1 minute, and after that, I got frustrated and gave up. I was surprised at this result, that there was such a difference between my hands because my right hand was able to move 10 grains in about 30 seconds, while the left hand was a 1 grain in 1 minute. From that day, I always used my left hand to eat. In the beginning, I had a very difficult time. The knife and chopsticks were especially difficult. After about a week, progress was seen. Large and well-shaped food, such as vegetables and fried foods, became easier to eat. However, the problem was soft and brittle foods, such as noodles and ingredients in the soup. These took time for me to be able to eat them. After about a month and a half, I was finally able to eat most kinds of foods with my left hand. Here I did an experiment once again to see the progress. Surprisingly, the result was 32 seconds, which is the same as the right hand. I was happy but surprised at the same time because I was able to catch up with my 15 years of the dominant hand after just a month and a half. After this, I finally moved on to writing practice. When I first wrote it, it was several times more difficult than eating. When eating, I should have just modeled the movement I was doing with my right, but when it comes to writing, all the directions were reversed. We write from left to right in both English and my mother language Japanese. This is a pulling action from the right hand and is easy to write. On the other hand, if you try to write with your left hand, you need to push it to the right, which requires more force. At first, I couldn't put any force on my fingers and the letters were distorted. As a result of writing the alphabets in English and Japanese, English was easier to write because it has many straight lines and it's simple, and Japanese was harder because characters had many curves and were more complicated. From there, I wrote the alphabet in my notebook once every 2 days. After about a month of continuation, I think that in the end I was able to write decent characters. Besides eating and writing, I tried as much as I could. I realized that the order of carrying the bag straps was always from the right, so I decided to carry it from the left as a routine. I also noticed that I always brush my teeth with my right hand, so instead I tried it with my left hand. It was very difficult to adjust the strength of the force. 3 months have passed this way, and I can now eat and write with both hands. I think the merit of being ambidextrous is that you can use both hands according to various situations. When writing an essay, if my right hand gets tired, I can always switch to my left hand. And what I found useful in this experience is that I can eat with my left hand while contacting my friends on my phone with my right hand. Yes, of course it's not proper manners, but it saves time. Furthermore, this is one of the reasons why I decided to train my left hand, and it is said that the movement of the left half of the body revitalizes the human brain. The human brain has different roles in the right and left brains. And the functions of the right brain are intuition, imagination, musical sensation, spatial recognition, art, etc. The functions of the left brain are language, calculation, logical thinking, analysis, and so on. The right half of the body is connected to the left brain, and the left part of the body is connected to the right brain. In other words, if you use your left hand, your right brain will be activated and your imagination and sense of art will be strengthened. Finally, I think that the balance of the body can be maintained by using the right and left halves equally. There is no basis for this, but it's just my own discretion. Modern society is made for right-handed people. For example, elevator buttons, doorknobs, clothes zippers, etc. So if you're left-handed, you may have a hard time, but if you're ambidextrous, I didn't find any disadvantages. I would like to continue to train the left half of my body. I want to be able to throw the ball and eventually improve to the point where I can kick the football accurately with my left foot. I encourage you, especially teens, to train your non-dominant hand if you're interested. It's very convenient and useful, and you can feel that you have improved your level as a human being. Maybe one day you will notice that your memory and imagination has improved. Thank you.